Hey guys, new video here, crafting these cool jewels for the most popular build, the most meta build of the current league, which is the Herald stacking builds. Now, all of them use pretty much the same jewels. It doesn't matter if they're playing EK, Spark, attacks with wands, like anything, right? They're all going to use somewhat of the same jewels. So if you don't want to watch this like entire video with all the details and stuff like that, I'll just give you a very short TLDR, and that is medium clusters. The light text at the top has to be either 4 or 5 passive skills. Doesn't matter which one it is, they're both the same. Added small passives, I would highly recommend not doing the minion one. Get the 10% increased damage while affected by Herald, not the minions deal 10% increased damage while affected by Herald, okay? And then so get these, see they're all pretty much the same. 4 or 5 passives is the only change. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna find probably like, if you farm maps, you're gonna find one of these like every day, every 2 days or so, and you're gonna take your bound fossil and then you put it in the Resonder, and then you right click the Resonder, and then boom. And then when you do this, like right, oh look, I just got one with this one's actually pretty good, but you're gonna type in Purposeful, right, for Purposeful Harbinger, because what you're looking for is a combination of 2 things. First, the mandatory is the Purposeful Harbinger. You have to have this on there. If the jewel does not have Purposeful Harbinger, then you don't want to use that, okay? It has to have the Purposeful Harbinger. And then the second one, an added passive skill, is you can have one of 2 things. Heraldry is the very common one, and the second one is called Endbringer. So this one has heraldry, so I'll keep it. It doesn't have a jewel socket. The third one that you really want is a jewel socket. And in this example, let's say you found this jewel on the ground, and now I know that if I get a jewel socket on this jewel will sell for about 2.7 exalts to 3 exalts, right? So for me, it's very worthwhile to just slam an exalt on here if you were to find it. So I'll give you an example. Boom. No! Okay, it's scuffed because in this example, the jewel socket is actually very common. The jewel socket is weighted so heavily that in that instance where I found it, I should have slammed it and gotten the jewel socket. It's like very much weighted towards jewel socket. Okay, that kind of got scuffed. So I'm gonna have to do a little edit here, and I'm gonna go back here, and I'm gonna take the annulment, or I'm gonna try to annul it off, because I'm imagining that you're someone who's playing and you find one of these jewels. If I can annul off, oh, I annulled it off. Okay, now watch this. Watch this. I'm gonna take another exalt, and now I'm gonna slam on the jewel socket. Okay, see that's what was supposed to happen, because the jewel socket is so heavily weighted in this scenario. Okay, so even though I just lost 2 exalts there in that scenario, given that I found this jewel on the ground, I will be able to sell this for 2.7 to 3 to 3 exalts, so it's not that bad, okay? But in your example, hopefully you'll do a lot better. Okay, this video is so scuffed already, and so that little passive line for the 3% lightning res, you don't need that. If your jewel somehow gets that as a bonus, you can keep it, right? But like things like intelligence, attack, and cast speed, these things are probably better. So that's all you gotta do. You once again bound fossil, Resonder, slam it on the jewel. You have to have Purposeful Harbinger. There's no going around that. And then one of the other 2 things, heraldry or Endbringer, and that's all you're looking for. And then jewel socket, right? So once you have that, you can just sell it. Okay, so that's pretty much for the basics. You can do that, and then now the video will get a little bit longer, and I'll explain a little bit more of the details. Okay, so I'm first going to just give my results, because that's all people care about. Like, did you make money or did you lose money? I have numbers up here. Once again, this was all done entirely on stream from start to finish, so you can go watch the VOD from last night, which would have been the VOD from May 4th, 2020. And in that VOD, you'll see I'm like buying these jewels, I'm buying bound fossils, I'm calculating all the costs in there, and a lot of these I'm like overpaying as well for. And then I calculated the cost of the material. So in the first set that I did, there's nothing in here because they've already been sold and everything, but I spent 28.3 exalts buying the bound fossils, the Resonders, and of course buying the base jewels, which are about 1.4 exalts each. Sometimes when viewers wish for me though, I pay 1.5 exalts, you know, a little streamium. So these were counted with the conservative numbers in there, bound fossils at 10C and stuff like that. And so after spending 28.3 exalts, what I ended up with is a profit of 82 exalts, and that is only because I got things like this, where I got the corruption on the first try of the 1% reduced mana reserved. This is actually a second one, by the way, but so with the corruption, which is a 1 in 60 chance to get the 1% mana reserve, which is the big one, right? Other things will add some value, like corrupting blood, maim, silence, all that gets will add a little bit of value, but not as much as the 1%. I'll show you that in the trade site in a little bit. with that counted in and the profits from corrupting all the jewels, because I did this for fun, right? So I was like, most people would craft these and then sell them for a little bit of profit, but I wanted to go for like the big dick stuff, right? So I wanted to corrupt it and then get a sellable thing, preferably the mana, and then make like a bigger profit. So I was able to do that in the first 12. Obviously that's very lucky, and so the profit was 82 exalts after selling off the jewels, and then counting of course the ones that bricked. You know, you can't use those, right? So only selling the ones that didn't brick, and then subtracting the cost of them, and so that profit was 82 exalts. Now the 5.3 number is what I would have made, or I guess in this case lost because it's negative, if I had not gotten that corruption, right? Counting that I didn't get that corruption, it was just like a regular sale for like 2.73 exalts, somewhere around there, right? Because I was able to sell off all the non-completely bricked, just corrupted ones that didn't change very quickly for 3 exalts each, okay? So, but once again, I was estimating at like 2.7 and stuff like that. So, and actually, last time I was estimating at 2.5, so very conservative numbers. So if I didn't hit that and I had corrupted everyone, and then after taking out the bricks, I lost 5.3 exalts. The second number here, plus 5.5, what is that? Well, that's the number that's the profit I would have made on these 12 jewels if I had not corrupted. So if I had not corrupted the jewels, right, and I had not hit the plus 1% reduced mana reserve, and none of them bricked, and I just sold them all as is for the conservative market prices, I would have actually made 5.5 exalts, so pretty good there. And then this one right here, so this one is actually kind of interesting, because then I did it again, and I bought about like 16 of these gems, and a few of them didn't actually hit yet, so I did like 12 again. These are ones I'm currently crafting, and so I spent 31.5 exalts on them. And then once again on the first corruption orb, I did this to corrupt all of them, and on the first corruption orb I got this one, right? The other one's sold already, but this one is a Purposeful Harbinger, Heraldry, Jewel Socket, you know, what you're looking for, with 1% reduced mana, reservation, corruption, okay? So that hit, and then this is, I'll probably list this for like 68, 69 exalts, and so basically with that in there, if I were to have that in there, it would be a 66 exalt profit. And then if I were, and then the way I count this negative is that if I didn't get that, and I sold for 69, which would be the cheapest, and then it like bricked, right? So I like lost the 3 exalt sale, then I would have lost 6 exalts there, okay? And I haven't like calculated a number after that because I just haven't finished crafting, and I was gonna do it as a full set, and then these also haven't sold yet because I'm kind of like holding on to these for some reasons. So I haven't calculated profit if I hadn't of corrupted it, but like I could very easily get that because I know that I bricked 3 so far. So if I did the 3 so far that would have sold, then it would be about, if there were 3 exalts these, that would have made like 3 exalts, right? Makes sense. This guy just hit level 100, yo, congrats. So that's the basics behind it. So if you craft these with this current method of just using the bound fossils in the single Rosanders, then this is a very small sample size, right? So I know that, but you know, I was making money, and if you corrupt them, then you're really rolling the dice, okay? Because you know, with the current price of those jewels, the expected to return, you know, on those is it's a little bit iffy, okay? So that is the numbers there. Now, going into a little bit more detail about these jewels, I'm just gonna pull up what you'd be looking to buy, right? So I have this I have the trade thing up here. Let me just make it a little bit bigger. So of course you're gonna want to buy bound fossils. I'd say about 10C will be pretty good for bulk. Rosanders about 2C each. As you can see, you can buy a lot in bulk. I was buying about 2C each, right? Those are the 2 of the main mats to craft, and then the jewels. So right here, these are price fixes, these 100Cs. They're about 1.4, 1.5, as you can see here. All you care about, once again, is I'll just show you my search query so that you guys can see. You need passive skills, 5, right? 5 maximum, and then added small passive skills, or it's an enchant, grant 10% increased damage while affected by Herald. Now, the reason you want this is because the min-maxers, people willing to pay big monies, they do not want the minion one, because on the tree, when they are getting these, you might think it doesn't matter, right? Because it only affects them. You might be like, why does that matter? 10% when an Endbringer gives you 125% damage, 10%. But you have to remember, the min-maxers have 12 of those, so 12 times this, if you have the minion ones, is 120% increased damage loss. So that it does matter a little bit for the min-maxers. So definitely try. I would just recommend don't do it on the minion ones. Okay, just do it on the Herald 10% increased damage while affected by Herald. Right? That one is very important. And then it doesn't matter 5 or 4. This is something that's been posted on Reddit and stuff all the time, but it's important to note again in this video, because look at this, right? This is a 4 node. This right here is a 5 node. What's the difference? There's no difference. It's the exact same jewel. See, Purposeful Endbringer, Purposeful Endbringer. Damage while you have Herald, damage while you have a Herald, right? The mini passive matters, but that doesn't matter because usually you'll be selling ones with 3 nodes, and then it has a jewel socket. So because the last node doesn't need to be allocated, and some people still don't know this, believe it or not. So I guess if you can get a 4 node for the same price, get that, because people are dumb and they will pay slightly more. I've even heard reports from people I trust and people who know what they're doing that people are paying many exalts more for a corrupted version that is a 4 node because they just think that the 4 node saves them 1 point when it doesn't. See, this one's not allocated. But if you're smart and you know it, then hopefully other people know it too. So if it's the same price, buy the 4 node, but it doesn't matter. 4 and 5 are the same. Okay, so let's bring this back up. So that's why I have my maximum at 5, because it's 5 or 4, you know, they are the same. And you'll buy those. Once again, 1.4 and 1.5 are about the fair prices. You don't care about what the rolls are besides these 2 rolls right here, the once again 5 or 4 passes and the 10% increased damage while affected by Herald, because if they're at this price, it means they don't have the correct rolls, because the correct rolls are about 2.7 exalts. See, right, these are the quote unquote correct rolls, right? Purposeful Harbinger, Jewel Socket, and either Heraldry or Endbringer. Endbringer is a little bit more expensive because Endbringer is a lot more rare. I'd say, like, let's say I did 12 jewels and I crafted them, I would get about, I don't know, like probably like 8 or 9 or 10 Heraldries and maybe only 2 or 3 Endbringers. Okay, so it is a lot. It's weighted in favor of Heraldry, but Heraldry is still good because everyone's trying to do this build, so there's not enough of like the top end stuff to go around, so people are going with like slightly below the top end, which is the Heraldry, because eventually people will swap out of Heraldry, sell their Heraldries, and go Endbringer. Okay, but right now they're still a good price, so you can buy any one of these. Okay, and then once you have a bunch of those, make sure they're not corrupted. It has to also be corrupted equals no, because I don't know if this needs to be said, but you can't craft on a corrupted item. Okay, so do not buy the corrupted ones. They are kind of a scam. So with that said, after you buy them all, the way that I did it is like, I like these because it's like 1 click. Like the yellow ones means that it functions like a Chow's orb, right? Where if this is yellow, then I can just put a fossil in, right click, click on it, and it just like re-rolls all the stuff. If it was a silver one, I'd have to scour with a scouring orb first and then use. So it's an extra click. Why do I use fossils instead of the alteration method? And that is because if you use the alteration method, I can just like show you right now if I have the mats. Look at some augments. I have 13 transients, so I can't show you that much, but let me just do it here. So let's say I took this jewel, right? And so I'm gonna scour this, and so you like bought this jewel. With the rolling method with the alterations, it's a lot more clicking, and that's the only thing. Like the annoyances of like using chows to like spam, using the fossils and stuff, is just like how likely and how long are you willing to do it, and how tedious are you willing to get with this, right? They're all pretty much around the same thing, I think, but just your preferences. So for example, let's say I like transmute this, right? So now I see there's no there's no Purposeful Harbinger. Okay, so there's no need for me to reel this, because actually I should say this: you're looking for Purposeful Harbinger or Heraldry, these 2. And the reason that you're looking for these, okay, is because if you get one of these, you can augment it, right? If it's 1 node, augment orb, and it could put on like the jewel socket or the other thing that you're missing, and then you can regal it. To try to get the other thing. Okay, this is like a lot easier if I just show you. Okay, so we're looking for one of 2 things initially: Endbringer, Purposeful Harbinger, or Heraldry. Yeah, Heraldry, Endbringer, Purposeful Harbinger, right? Because you eventually have to have Purposeful Harbinger. So I'm gonna I don't have enough alterations, but like let's just say that I was doing this, right? So right here it's just jewel socket, right? Also if it's a one line jewel socket like you saw there, you can also augment it to try to get either Heraldry or Purposeful Harbinger, or Endbringer. Okay, so that's something you can do. So basically you're looking for like one of a few things. And so this one doesn't have, so I alteration it again. Okay, this one doesn't have anything, I alteration it again. Empowered Envoy is garbage. Okay, so I got Jewel Socket. Let's see if I can get Endbringer, Purposeful, or Heraldry. I didn't get it, right? So I alteration again. Oh, Endbringer. So now I want to augment it because this is one line. I can add another one for basically free. And I'm hoping for Jewel Socket, Purposeful Harbinger, Purposeful Harbinger, or yeah, actually just you need Purposeful Harbinger. So either Jewel Socket or Purposeful Harbinger. Okay, I got a Jewel Socket. So now if I regal it, I can get the Purposeful Harbinger on there, possibly. Okay, I didn't get it. See, I didn't get, and you never exalt it in this case. So like, I'm just gonna go ahead and scour, and I do it again. See, I click once, I don't have it. Alteration, and it's like a lot of orbs. See, I do it again. Okay, Jewel Socket, but it has another bad thing. Okay, Jewel Socket, I augment. Dark Messenger is garbage. I got alteration. Okay, Empowered Envoy, garbage. Oh, Endbringer and Jewel Socket, right? So now I can regal it. Okay, see, that's garbage. So now I gotta scour it, and I gotta start all over again. So you see how this is like kind of tedious, because like you need like all these orbs. You need a regal orb, a scouring orb, an augmentation orb, alteration orb, transmute orb, and then like the base jewel. It's like it's too much work. With this method here, right? All you gotta do is you type in purposeful. Okay, that is what you're looking for, because when you use these, it's a rare, so you never exalt it initially, unless there's this fringe case that I just showed you there at the beginning of the video. So like this one is Jewel Socket, Heraldry, Purposeful Harbinger. So this one's good. Okay, so this one's actually good to go, and this will sell for 2.7 to 3 exalts, like pretty fast, right? Great. I'm gonna crop this one for you guys just so you guys can see how that works. And then like these, see, I'm looking for purposeful. So look how easy this is. Bound fossil into the thing, boom, right? I didn't get it. And the reason I like this method is because the bound fossil is the aura modifiers, which is the Purposeful Harbinger that you're targeting, right? Because you have to have that. So that's why I do that. There's also things you can do with lucent fossils. If your soul is self-found, if you did a lucent bound fossil, you can get the Heraldry and the Purposeful Harbinger really easily. But that's like a 2-slot Resonder, and it's like a few more clicks. So this is like the easy mode, okay? So watch, if I click this, okay, I didn't get it. It's usually like faster than this. Let me put some more in here. I'm running out of Resonders, so it's kind of bad. Okay, see, I got one. What this? Okay, I didn't get one. This. Oh, I got another one. And this one right here. Okay, I didn't get that. What about this? Oh, wait. Oh, oops. This one needs to be regaled. My bad. Okay. Because remember, you have to have a rare in order to use these yellow ones, okay? So I didn't get it there. I have one last one. And didn't get it. Okay, let's look at these two. So this one is Purposeful Harbinger, right? That's the one that's guaranteed, or sorry, not guaranteed, but the one that you have to have. And then Empowered Envoy, so complete trash. So I have to reroll this one. This one, Purposeful Harbinger, but Agent of Destruction, complete trash, because it's not Heraldry or Endbringer. And so we're gonna go ahead and reroll those, right? So you just keep doing it with these fossils. Unfortunately, I ran out of the Resonders, so I can't show you that. But just keep going. So that is how you do that. Now, a few things that I have to say about this, okay? You have to factor in trading time. I think it's really fun, but trading time is a nightmare. You gotta buy the bound fossils, you gotta buy the Resonders, you gotta buy the base jewels, which like there'll be competition of, lots of them will be already sold. It's just annoying, right? So you could be just mapping and making money in the time it takes you to trade. Please keep that in mind. So if you don't like downtime, you don't need to do this method, but it can yield really good results, and for me personally, it's really fun, and you get some more knowledge as to why these are valuable. I think a lot of people, when they're mapping, they're still picking up every cluster jewel, right? When you pick up a medium cluster jewel, please check if it is a 10% increased damage while affected by a Herald with 4 or 5. You can sell that as a base for like 1.4 exalts. Awesome, you just found 1.4. It's the same thing as finding 1.4 exalts on the ground, and then if you even get the minion one with 4 or 5 and it's clean, you know, uncorrupted, then you can also sell that one for a little bit less. And so please keep an eye out for these, because it could be some really fun crafting. Because think about it, like if you pick it up off the ground, it's free. You didn't buy like the bases like I did for 1.4 exalts, so you're already like evened out, right? So you can use like whatever you want to craft it, and then if you get something like this, you know, 2.7 exalts. So in this example, you can see like I corrupted these. Now, when you corrupt, once again, what you're looking for is 1% mana reserved. What if a brick would be if anything where the Jewel Socket, the Purposeful Harbinger, or if you don't have Purposeful Harbinger, Jewel Socket, these are the mandatory ones, and then the third one is not a Heraldry or an Endbringer, right? Like somehow those disappear. For example, I can show you some bricked ones, right? like these. Like this one used to be like it used to be like Purposeful Harbinger, Jewel Socket, and something else, but now it's Empowered Envoy, right? So you can see that those are bricks. Now this one right here, I'm gonna corrupt this one, right? Because it's like kind of fun, and maybe we'll get a cool result. So ideally, when you corrupt, right? Once again, Jewel Socket, Purposeful Harbinger, mandatory. The third one can be either Heraldry or Endbringer. And that fourth line for a little mini thing on there, the really good ones that I like are like Intelligence, because that's like ES, or attack and cast speed, or I mean in some cases challenge resistance, because for low life characters you need to cap out at 75 to tank Cyrus Storms easier. So I'm gonna go ahead and corrupt this one. Boom. Okay, it bricked. Oh, I lost 2.7 exalts. See, because the I kept the Jewel Socket, but I lost the Heraldry and the Purposeful Harbinger. So this one's bricked. It doesn't really, it's pretty bad, right? So I can just like delete that one. It doesn't even matter. I don't need to even try to sell that one, right? And so this is like a good one. This one I'll sell for 60 something exalts. And this one right here I crafted. Now the eye level for it, it's pretty funny because look at this. Like if you have like the higher eye level, I think it's 84. 84 can give you tier 1 attacking hazard, and that's 3%, right? Instead of 1 or 2% that you usually see. And so something like this, that's an Endbringer, Purposeful Harbinger, Jewel Socket, and 3%, this will sell for a lot by itself. But if I corrupt it, I'm going to double corrupt this because the 84 ones with the 3% are so rare. I'm going to double corrupt it. Maybe I get 1% and like, I don't know, corrupting blood. Then it'd be like really expensive, right? Like maybe a mirror or something like that. So that's really cool because most people, they get the extra mana reserve taken away by a corrupting blood jewel, but they can substitute that in, right? So that is that's pretty cool there. Other things to note about this, let me bring up PoE trade. So I'm just going to show you once again, these are the selling of the Heraldry, Purposeful Harbinger. Let me just make this a little bit bigger. Purposeful Harbinger, Heraldry, Jewel Socket ones, right, with 4 or 5, and then 10% increased damage. This right here, these are the corrupted ones. Like, look how much these are. This is Heraldry, Purposeful Harbinger, Jewel Socket, 70 exalts. This is 2 hours ago. So insane, right? And then this one is the Endbringer, which is a little bit better, right? 4 or 5, 10% damage, and then 75 exalts. And you can see how fast it rises. And this is pretty funny because depending on the time of the day and how many people are looking for this stuff, or how many people have just farmed enough to buy one of these, lots of people need. People want like 10 of these, 12 of these sometimes. So imagine one person buying all those and the stock is gone. So it's very volatile, but still always on the upper range of like 60, 70, 80 exalts. And yeah, so I just want to show like how valuable these jewels can be, going from a 2.7 to an 80 exalt jewel with 1 whale orb with a chance of 1 out of 60. So that's pretty cool, and that's the crafting right there. There's other ways that you could do this, I'm sure, but this is the way that I found is the easiest, because you buy all your Resanders, all your fossils at once, and then you buy the bases, and then boom, you just go until you get the stuff, and it's not too much of a hassle, at least in a trade league. Okay, so that's the video. I hope you guys enjoyed that, and if you guys have any questions, you guys can ask me on my stream every day at twitch.tv/qdog_. Okay, thanks for watching my video. Bye guys. Bye.